Hello and welcome. This is Eagle Eye 621, and what you see behind me is a contraption to punch a hole in the bedrock. So before we figure out how to put a hole in the bedrock, we should figure out how to get on top of the nether ceiling, which is covered in bedrock. So here's what we're looking for. And here is what you need. Ender pearls and ladders or smooth stone. You're going to want to have some food with you. You're going to need a diamond pickaxe with at least efficiency 2 that will insta-mine the netherrack. And when you do make it on top of the bedrock, it is good to have some obsidian with some flint and steel so you can make a nether portal to get back down in case this does not work or you forgot the materials, and or an ender chest to put your materials back in if you are going to die and need to kill yourself because you get trapped on the ceiling. Night vision potions are also helpful in order to see what's going on. And what you're going to do is come up to the top of the nether where the bedrock is, and you're looking for something very particular. You're going to just mine around until you find a bedrock which is at a very specific level, and that would be 127. Now, if you see where my cursor is, this is what you're looking for down here. You're looking at the looking at, and you're looking for a block to say 127 because that is the very top or bottom of the roof, depending on how you want to look at it. It doesn't do you any good to break bedrock if there's another bedrock underneath it. Also, you want to make sure that whichever one you pick has a clear shot all the way down so that you can use this to make a tunnel to go up onto the ceiling. So the easiest way to do this is the ladder trick, and you can see I am in survival mode. You put a ladder against the 126 height block so that this is the very top. You get your ender pearls ready, you walk up to the ladder and you hold jump, and what you're going to do is throw an ender pearl right towards the top of the ladder and continue to move forward. And just like that, you get up top. Now, there is another way to do this in case that method causes you some problems. And let me just get back into the spot and switch back to creative mode. To survival mode. And that would be by finding, again, a spot that has 127 up top. You put a half slab, and then you're going to again use your ender pearl to throw it against here or against here such that your character would land on this block. And you keep jumping, and if you need to like that, you throw another ender pearl out further, and again you're now on the ceiling. So we can get rid of these materials, and let's figure out how to get back down. Now, let me just put that back. That was there for demonstration purposes. It's important while you're down to take note of which block you were looking at, and this is the block with the ladder that we had gotten up on the first time, and you just want to check your coordinates, and that's over here, to make sure that your X and Z coordinates are correct. And you're going to set up this contraption. Now first, credit where credit is due. This is heavily based on a tutorial put out by Frillieth, which I will link in the description, and Frillieth himself credits Brutal Cookies, which I will also put in the description. And what you're looking to do is start out with this contraption. Now, this block right here is the bedrock that is going to be destroyed when you complete this. But let's actually take a look at the materials we need beforehand, which will be more helpful. And these are all the materials that you will need to be able to punch a hole in the bedrock. You will need 2 sticky pistons, 4 regular pistons, 11 obsidian, 4 comparators, 11 solid blocks. These don't have to be smooth stone, but they do have to be solid blocks. 3 sticky pistons, lever. You don't need 3, but it makes it a little easier. You need an activator rail. You need 14 redstone repeaters. Again, here you don't need all of them, but this makes it a lot easier. You need 2 blocks of redstone, 7 dust, and 2 mine carts with TNT. Now, you should bring some spares because this isn't 100%. It works most of the time, but the part that you may need more of is more mine carts with TNT, so just bring some of these materials with you, and additionally some sticky pistons and regular pistons in case anything goes wrong. So let's grab these things, and let's go see how to set this up. So the block that you want to break is, again, where this light is here. You're going to want to put a piston facing into it, as well as a sticky piston facing into it. You're going to want to put 5 obsidian, as such, and then 5 more obsidian going in this direction. So if you count this one, this is actually 6 here, but really just 5 and 5. And then you put your repeaters and your lever as such. Now these 5 repeaters all need to be on 4 tick delay. They point into a solid block. And then you need 5 more repeaters, also pointing into a solid block. And these also all need to be on 4 tick delay. All of the repeaters are on 4 tick delay. And if you counted correctly, this solid block should be connected to this regular piston. Then you're going to want to put your activator rail right here on the opposite side of the lever. And what this is going to do is a contraption to blow off the heads of these pistons. And I will show you how to do that in a second. But once that is complete, this is what your setup is. You have 2 headless pistons with your redstone blocks on top of them and dust behind them. And once that is completed, this is your final contraption in order to remove the bedrock. You have a piston facing up. This is a regular piston facing down, and I will show you how to do that with solid blocks, your 3 slime blocks, your sticky piston, this contraption, which has to look exactly like such, as well as some dust and a lever. So let's see what happens as we do this. This goes back to our first example all the way at the end. You put your minecart with TNT, and when you pull the lever, you want to back up, and what's going to happen is this piston is going to extend, and it's actually going to get its head blown off by this. And now we have a headless piston. Now, to make sure it remains a headless piston, we need to make sure that this stays charged. So we're going to slap a redstone block on top of that. Only after you put the redstone block on, you can turn this off. Come around here and you can destroy this block. And 3 bits of redstone dust as such. So we're now pointing into the sticky piston. And we're going to do the same thing we did with the regular piston by blowing off the head of that piston as such. And now we have 2 headless pistons, and we're going to slap a redstone block on that as well before we turn off the power to make sure it doesn't update. And we're back to this scenario over here. So now what we want to do is we want to put a piston on top of the block that we are trying to destroy. And that is going to extend. We can punch this out. This is going to be a lot more annoying when you're in survival. So you want to bring an efficiency 5 pickaxe with you just to have. Now we need to have a piston facing down over here. So the way that we're going to do that is we are going to, again over here, we're going to pillar up 4 blocks. We're going to destroy those blocks. We're going to put a piston facing down, and then you want to crouch and squeeze here to get another one facing down. It's very important. This does have to be facing down. And then if you have another redstone block, you can put it there. Or if you're just using a lever, take it out, and then you can destroy all of these things. And as you can see, we now have that facing down. Now we're going to need to set up this contraption over here. So we're going to put a solid block as such. And we are going to take our slime blocks, which are sticky as such. And we are going to then put a sticky piston facing in towards that slime blocks as such. Now we need to make this contraption. So we're going to put our 4 solid blocks over here. Now you need to do this in the correct order, and you need to start out with a comparator, then a repeater, then a comparator, and then a repeater. You're going to want to come back over here and 2 repeaters followed by 2 comparators. These should all now be on 1 tick. And we take our redstone dust across and put a lever on it. And if we've done this correctly, we should get remove these. And when we turn the power off, this piston should slide in, and because of the way the headless piston mechanics work as well as the update order, the piston should punch out this bedrock under here when we depower this as such. Get a better angle. And if this is done correctly, when we punch this block, we should have a hole in the ceiling. And we do. And then you can get your ladders, and you now have a way to get up and down from the nether ceiling. And this is helpful because up here on the roof of the nether, you can build some very efficient gold farms as well as gas farms and do all kinds of other things. Hope you've found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And for more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for stopping by.